Hello, I'm Noah, and this is Like You, a mindfulness podcast for kids. If you've listened to many episodes of Like You, then I know you're familiar with listening to my voice as I talk to you. But today, I want to flip things around. I want you to do some talking. So this episode is full of questions that I will ask, and then give you the space to think and respond. As always, you're welcome to speak aloud, or just think your answers in your head. Now, before we start, I want to say a few things to the grown-ups listening. First, thanks for listening. I'm glad you're here. If you or your kids have been listening for a while, I'd love it if you would leave us a review on Apple Podcasts to help others find us. Also, if you're ready to support the podcast directly, you can join our Patreon group and receive some special perks while helping to make this podcast possible. Find out more and join us at patreon.com/likeyoupodcast. Now we're ready to start the podcast, so find a place to listen where you feel comfortable and safe. Let's start by breathing together. As you breathe slowly in and out, I want you to listen to the sound of your own breath. I'll lower the music so it's easier to hear yourself. Now take a deep breath in and out. Another breath in and out. One more deep breath in and out. Let's do one last breath. And this time when you breathe out, I want you to make a funny sound. So breathe in. Now breathe out with a funny sound. Okay, on the count of 3, let's say, I like me. 1, 2, 3. I like me. I like you too. You are full of interesting thoughts, and you have a unique way of seeing the world. It's a better place because you are here. All right, now it's your turn to do some talking while I listen. I'm going to ask you some questions and then listen while you respond. If you don't feel like talking, you can just sit quietly and think about the questions instead. That's just fine. Keep in mind that there's no right or wrong answer to these questions, and every one of you listening will have your own answers because you are each unique. My first question for you is, how are you feeling right now? You might be feeling several things at the same time. So take a moment to think about how you're feeling and then respond. Okay. Next, can you think of one thing that has happened recently that made you feel sad or angry or afraid? If so, will you tell me about it? Next, can you think of one thing that has made you laugh or smile or feel happy? Will you tell me about that? Next, I want to hear about your favorite activity. It might be reading, dancing, drawing, playing outside, or baking in the kitchen. Maybe it's even listening to a podcast. If you could choose one activity to do every day, what would it be, and what do you enjoy about it? Now I want to hear your favorite thing about yourself. Or you can say a few things you like about yourself. I know there are so many wonderful things that make you awesome. But what are the things that you like best about being you? Wow, thank you for sharing that. Next, I want you to tell me about the comfiest spot in your home. Is it a fluffy chair, your bed, a sunny room with windows that let lots of light in? Maybe it's the place where you listen to this podcast. Tell me about a comfy spot where you live and what you like about that spot. Now, one last thing. I want you to think of a person who you know loves you very much. Someone who makes you feel safe and comfy. Someone who makes you feel like you can be yourself. Maybe it's your parents, or a brother or sister. Maybe it's someone you see every day, or maybe it's someone you haven't seen in a while. They could be a grandparent, or a teacher, or a coach, or your best friend. Take a moment to think about a person who loves you, and tell me about who it is and what makes them important to you. Now, keep that person in your mind. I want you to close your eyes and picture that person standing in front of you. Imagine their face. Imagine their hair. Imagine what they are wearing. Now, imagine them smiling at you. And while you picture that person, take a deep breath in and let it out. Now look at that person and say, "Thank you." Now open your eyes. I want you to think about a way you could say thank you to that person in real life. If that person is a family member who lives with you, it might be as simple as walking up to them after the podcast and saying thank you, or just giving them a hug. If you're thinking of someone who doesn't live with you, it might mean drawing a picture, or writing a letter to send them, or asking if you can call to talk to them. After you're done listening to this podcast, think of something you can do to thank them, because it always feels good to let someone know how much they mean to us. For now, let's listen to a song. While you listen, think back about all your answers about what made you happy, what activity you enjoy, what spot is the comfiest, and a person who loves you. Hold on to those answers and wrap them up to save them for later. Anytime you need some cheering up, you can think about these things. It's like giving a present to yourself.
I'm thinking about my day and what made me feel most pleasant. I'm putting a memory away. I'm wrapping it like a present. No, I've got a good gift to give. I'll know the right moment to give it. I'll have a smile on my face every time I relive it. I'm saving a moment from my day, and I'll make it a present to me. I'm saving a moment from my day, and I'll make it a present to me. I know how to cheer me up, 'cause nobody knows me like I do. And when I feel like giving up, do my best just to try to. I'm wrapping a present to me. I can't wait for me to see it. I'm wondering what it could be. I'll store it away till I need it. I'm saving a moment from my day, and I'll make it a present to me. I'm saving a moment from my day, and I'll make it a present to me.
Now, to remind you how wonderful you are, let's say some affirmations. Today, my friend Esso will join us.
Hey, it's me, Esso. Will you repeat these affirmations with me? Listen the first time, then say it with me the second time. I woke up today ready to love. I woke up today ready to love. I am beautiful inside and out. I am beautiful inside and out. I am full of joy. I am full of joy. There is no one better to be than myself. There is no one better to be than myself. My positive thoughts create positive feelings. My positive thoughts create positive feelings. I am open and ready to learn. I am open and ready to learn.
Thank you, Esso. Now let's smile and take a few slow, deep breaths as we wind down our time together. I can't wait to spend some time together again soon. Don't forget to think of a way to say thank you to someone you love. Until next time, I like you, I'm proud of you, and I'm glad we are friends. Have a happy and peaceful day. Like You is written and produced by me, Noah Glenn. I also composed and performed the Like You theme music and the original song, A Present to Me. Additional music was provided by I Make Mad Beats featuring the Terrence Clark Quartet. Today's affirmations came from Esso Tolson. Esso is an artist, a musician, and an experienced director who enjoys creating inspiring spaces that allow people to feel safe, considered, and included. Our podcast cover art was illustrated by Mia Saine, and our episode art is created by Lindsey Glenn. To all the grown-ups listening, please consider supporting this podcast by visiting patreon.com/likeyoupodcast. You can join our Patreon group to contribute to the show and make more episodes possible. If you're unable to offer financial support, you can still show us some love by leaving a review on Apple Podcasts and by telling your friends about the show. You can find show notes on our website, likeyoupodcast.com. You can also send us voice memos, drawings, and pictures by emailing likeyoupod@gmail.com. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at likeyoupod. Thanks for listening.